For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ken Bald. I've been around here for a few years and been turning for a few years. And so I sat through a demonstration down in Franklin, Tennessee uh, last January. The Charlie Sapp's cousin puts on one heck of a symposium. It comes into January, last full weekend of January in Franklin, Tennessee. Put a plug in for them. It's part of AAW. It's very reasonable. You can get a room right there at the symposium for about 120 bucks a night at the Marriott. They got a decent restaurant there, and they always have top of the line demonstrators. So it's a Friday and a Saturday. It starts out on a Thursday night a little bit, but it's basically a symposium runs Friday, Saturday night dinner for $265, something like that. It's a pretty good deal. And Charlie's cousin always speaks highly of Charlie, but Charlie just doesn't seem to talk about his cousin. I don't know what the problem is. All right. Anyway, we had a fella, Nick Cook, I believe his name was, demonstrated. Well, trip over there. He demonstrated this pepper mill. We'll pass that around. And then these are a couple other versions of that. You want to look at them, you can pass them all around. Don't crank this one unless you want a handful of pepper. And if you want coarse, loosen it up, fine, tighten it down. But it makes nice pepper. All right. So per Mr. Cook's demonstration, he started out with a 3x3 by 11 piece of wood. I have a pretty good supply of walnut, so I chose walnut to make them out of. Can you guys hear me in the back? All right, good. And so I know you all know how to put centers on both ends. You know how to make it round. So I thought I'd save that time. And then what I do is I turn it, basically you put a tenon on this end and on that end. And I know, Jeff, there's other ways of doing it. If you're really particular, you got some really fancy wood and you want the grain to match, you could do this with less space here. You could cut it off and then put an interior tenon. Thank you. And I'm getting old and forgetful. But I'm going by the directions I'm going to hand out. Everybody can have directions if they're interested in turning these. So then you separate that and you end up, two pieces. And I always like to mark them. Even when they're square, I'll put a mark on there, just to make sure I know which end is going to be the lid. And then when I get ready to line them up, I got an idea how they're lined up. If you're real careful and everything is centered, you can turn it and everything will line up 360 degrees. So we'll see how lucky I get in turning and boring this. So we're going to start out boring the bottom. Yeah. Just yeah, that looks like that's going to run pretty true. I'm going to start with drilling right away. So where's the on switch? Red button? pull it out. No. It's in here tight. And so now how do I turn it on? Yes, that's not. Part of the problem is it's obvious I didn't, well, somebody must have jammed that loose. Oh, there you go. Yeah. That one's kind of wobbly. Now let's see. All right, we got that turning nice and straight. So the first thing we're going to do is bore a hole in it. Obvious, I haven't used this lathe or this brand of lathe in a few years. All right. So, yeah. We have enough. I've researched. For some reason, it's very difficult to buy good quality Forstner bits. But so what we need now is we're going to bore this all the way through with a 1 1/16. Depending upon the brand of mechanism you're going to use, I use Chef Specialties. They're a little more expensive. I pay $18 for a kit. You know, you get all the mechanisms you need in that kit for $18. You can buy Chef Specialties from a couple of different vendors. I think I bought this one from Big Monk Lumber Company. He's over in, I think, Kentucky somewhere. But you can also buy them from Craft Supplies, or you can go directly to, if you Google Chef Specialties, you can buy this directly from Chef Specialties. This is a 10-inch. They come in 12, 10, 6, 5, and 4, I think. I'm not sure, but a number of different sizes. All right, let's see if we can drill this hole. We're going to drill that about halfway through and then come in from the other end and drill it from that end. We've already started with a little bit of wobble. These are not high speed. I have not found anybody that sells Forstner bits in high speed steel. And you want to be careful here to clean the chips out frequently.
speed.
I probably got it too fast. I'm at 630. That being I'm kind of in a hurry. I probably should be down around 400. So drilling seems to be the biggest job of this whole operation. And if you're not careful, you can get too much chips in there and get your drill stuck. So clean it out frequently. Clean it out more rather than less, and you'll have less problems. The extension for the Forstner bit, I bought that at Craft Supply. They sell a kit that didn't match my you buy this whole kit here. They got a deal at Woodcraft for this for 99 bucks. I thought, oh, that's going to be a good deal. But the Forstner bit was only 1.5 inches, and that's fine for some brands of mechanisms. But the mechanism that I'm using uses 1 5/8 in the bottom. A counterbore has to be 1 5/8. So I can't use the 1.5 inch Forstner bit here, and that extension came in this kit here. So so when we get in here a little more than halfway, we'll turn it end for end and I did bring my air compressor. I'll show you my air compressor here shortly. Not about halfway. Anybody keep track of how deep I am? Yeah, I think that's halfway. Don't laugh at this used to belong to my father. He carried it in his pants. Always had a, yeah, we're about 4.5 inches deep in that overall. So we're good for halfway there. So we'll go a little deeper. Okay. Now, there it is. So while we've got it in the lathe here, we're going to go ahead and counterbore for the mechanism in the bottom. That's supposed to be about 3/8 of an inch below this surface, because this is going to become the bottom of the pepper mill. This will get turned off a little later. So I do know from experience that if I go into about this to the end of there, I'll be in there about the right depth. Okay. Where's our safety officer?
I'd like to turn out wearing safety glasses.
Yeah. Where's our safety officer? He should have been on my butt long time ago.
Wait till you put an eye out.
You're not doing your job. All right, I always carry an air compressor. When I go to these classes, I have found that they don't want you to use an air compressor. So this is my Bald specialty air compressor. Now, so there you go.
The tech tip right there.
There's a tech tip. Yeah, and just as a reminder there, make sure it's bent, because if you take a straw, I've seen guys take their soda straw and get in there and blow on it and it comes out in their face. So bend it, or you could use a little rubber hose, maybe gas line hose or something. That works good. All right.
Part number on it or a national stock number?
I'm sorry?
Does it have a part number or a national stock number?
You techie guys. All right. Oh, somebody. Now, if you notice, we don't have a real big, a lot of stock around here. So you don't want to get real crazy about cranking that down, as hard as you can. I should have took my handy dandy piece of, I'll do that while we're in this position. I like to talk about always using 220, starting my sanding with 220, but I'm going to use some 180 here. And somebody was talking about the foam back. I really like back, but we're going to stick our finger in there and round that little edge off just slightly, so that when we come back to put our mechanism in there, we won't have any burrs hanging up there. All right, now back to where we were. See how bad that wobbles. Yeah. Don't have a center in there, so get my handy dandy marker out here. I'm going to just bump that, get the high side. Yeah, I went too far. Yeah, I'm getting worse instead of better. Yeah, I need a, but see, I'm trying to find get that centered. Oh, that's terrible. That's not going to be accurate enough. We just need to get this hole drilled in here, and then that's all we're gonna do it in this position. Still more on. Don't usually have this much trouble doing this. It moved. Ha. All right. Now, yeah, you could get out there far enough. Now we're going to make a little ding in there for the center so that drill gets started in the center. Otherwise, we'll have a terrible mismatch, and I don't like that. Can't see very good. Ew. That extension's got 3 flats on it, so you don't have to worry about tightening down extremely tight on that chuck. Now, let's get that out of the way. Now, why'd that start wobbling like that? See what happens here. Well, that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to have it wobble like that. I'm thinking maybe when I put that tenon on there, I didn't have that nice and straight and flat. I got my Dremel tool out last night and I sharpened these Forstner bits. They seem to be cutting pretty decent today. So I got lucky and got them sharpened halfway decent. How far does this go? 4 inches? Says I go to 4 inches. Yeah, I better stop there. No, it wasn't far. Okay. I'm gonna need that again. All right, where's our center? Now we want to face this off, make sure that we got this nice and flat, or actually we want it just a little concave, because when we put our top on it, I'll have, or my wrap, but you want that top to make contact out on the outer edges of that rather than, in the middle, and the crack will show, will be standing open. Well, we'll true that up to that hole. So when we turn the outside, it'll end up being true to the hole. Yeah. I like to always sight down my tool rest and keep it parallel to the ways of the machine. It just helps you keep things straight. That's now I know why I spent the extra money to buy a robust. Sorry. Some of you guys like, okay. Now we want to take this tang off. Yeah, I'm getting it. Okay. And you guys thought I was going to hit my center, didn't you? Okay. Here you go, Jeff. You can have a toy. The kids always want those. Yeah. Chamfer that ever so slightly. Okay. I've got some splinters in there. We're going to have to turn that around and put it on a mandrel. Yeah, that's going to be. That'll be good. I got the. Come on, get out of there. There you go. All right, that's our base. Now we're going to turn the top. We got to drill a hole in there and prepare the top for a shoulder to go inside of that. Okay. Grab me one of those taller pepper mills over there. Yeah, that's the one we're trying to duplicate. Uh, now what we're going to do, can you see that? Am I got that held right? No, whatever. So they can see that. So which camera am I looking at? Is one above me now? All right. This is kind of critical here now, so that we get this counter board for this little aluminum piece. That becomes your driver that gets screwed in there, and that square then drives this square part here. So you got to be careful that you get that in there correctly and centered. So that's what we're going to do now, is prepare the end of this to accept that. And then this diameter here has to fit inside of here, which that fits pretty good. So we're going to accept this one. I actually got, I didn't want it to be concave or convex. And I ended up a little bit too much concave on there. Shouldn't have been tapered quite that much, but it'll be fine. I'll just make this shoulder here a tad longer. So, again, I'm gonna, because of the problems of getting a drill center, I'm gonna center drill that, get that drill started in the center. There we go. Now we're going to drill a, you can use this, I think the instruction says a 17/64 drill to drill through there. Well, where'd I lay my chuck? There it is. We're going to drill it. I think that's a 7 millimeter. So it's just slightly larger. I really should face that off first. I'm going out of sequence here. And this will leave me a center point for my smaller drill. I drilled one at home the other day and I came way off center. And I don't want that to happen again. What happened? I didn't put a dimple there. A lot of times I will use a center drill to get that started. If you just come up there against a flat piece of wood, you're not, that point of that bit's going to go to the soft spot. It'll start off center. If a piece of the hard line of the growth ring is right there on the right off center slightly, it'll push that little point off center, and it's going to just keep going, continue to follow that off center. Thank you. Good. Thanks for bringing that up. All right. Now, this is going to become the counter bore for that drive plate. I'm going to go in there about 1/8 of an inch. Yeah, a little deeper. Yes, sir. I really should have faced that off. Yeah. I'm going to face it off now. It's not the best of surfaces. And before I finish that up, I'm going to face that off. Yeah, I'll get the right key here. Yeah, that's really should have been faced off now, but we're going to go ahead and drill this on through since we got it, the chuck in the drill, in the tailstock. All right, that appears to be drilling straight now. Don't do that hard on the drill. Okay. I think we're all the way through. And I think we're done drilling. What is this, 1/16 per turn? Mine's an 1/8 per turn. Goes a little faster. All right, now done with the tailstock. For now. Now we got to get the part out that goes in that hole. We have to open that up a little more than so you get your pair of calipers out and measure the hole. Measure the disc. Well, that's real close. It'll take about 10 thousandths out of there. I know you guys don't know. What? Yeah, it got a little too big. But it'll work. Now you got to turn this back and put a shoulder that'll stick inside the top of this. This should be 1.16 inches. It's about 1.70 thousandths. Which is going to be all right. I know, Jeff, every time I take a cut off here, I'm getting a poorer match. Yeah, let's square that up. Do I have a straight edge?
See if it's
Sure. Yeah, I know that I'm concave way too much. Not too bad, but all right, we're going to do this with a different tool here so we can get that sharp and straight in there. Yeah, where am I at? Yep, so. Looks pretty good. So now, does it fit? All right, still got to take about 1/8 of an inch off it. I'd really. Got a ways to go yet. Okay, well, now I got that too big, too little. Nothing a paper towel won't fix. All right. Okay. That it turned out pretty good. Okay, let's put this back in here. We're now ready to turn the outside of it. Now we'll have a nice blue line to help us know where that's at, where that. Where did I put my chuck key? There it is. Okay, we're ready to, any questions at this point about the drilling?
Single towel thickness in there.
I'm sorry?
You have a single towel thickness in there between the top and
Yes.
the base. Have you ever had to go to two towel thicknesses?
I probably really should go to 2 on this right now.
Okay, just curious. If, you know,
I really got that, with my essential tremors. I'm sure you've all noticed I shake.
well, that's
It's
all right.
Not
I was
that
ju-
I'm nervous.
No,
I
I'm
have
just
what's called
wondering.
essential tremors.
I'm not
And
worried about,
I'm about where I think I want to be, and then all of a sudden I'll take a little bit more with no, it's just,
but
I'm getting too old to do
What-
good work.
Ken, I'm not worried about that. Would you recommend going 2 towels to the floor? If it,
Yeah, you really, there wouldn't be nothing wrong with putting 2 towels in there.
okay, that's what I was looking
Uh,
for.
This is not gonna, the cap is not gonna fit like the ones that we passed around. It's gonna be a little sloppy. You noticed that, huh? You're just a good observer. All right, very good. Yeah, well, I've gone to a number of um, craft shows and various shops where they have pepper mills in them, and I'll always turn the top and find that top does not line up with the bottom as you turn it 180 degrees. I'm going to turn this. I've got my line here. That's where the grain lines up. And when we get back to, when you got it on display, you sit it there with the top with the grain lined up, and it'll line up. But because of the looseness I have here, these blue towels are probably 7 thousandths. White paper towels are probably 4 thousandths thick. These are 7 to 8 thousandths. And like I say, I mean, you've talked me into going another paper towel thickness. Sorry, but it's a little loose. This might be a three towel looseness. I don't know. Yeah, see, that's still not one of my better. That's what I hate about trying to do a demonstration in an hour, and you rush, and at home I'd have measured that a little more often. All right, so where's my pattern? I'm gonna put this back together. Now, something I haven't done and probably should have. Uh, what I need to do is see where I'm at on length here, because I don't really know, because I took a little more off there if I'm getting long, or where I'm going to be. So that's the next thing I should have done before I went through all that effort, was we have to establish our length. I can tell by looking at this, I got plenty of length here yet. So, but what we could do is take this apart, slide the mechanism into the bottom, and That ain't gonna work with all that in there. All right. Be careful not to lose the four little screws that come with it. They do put them in a separate bag. By the way, this is this is a two-stage. Put that under the. Can you see that on the camera? A little closer. It has these wings out here crush the pepper corns, and then the little edges here grind it. So it's a two-stage grinder. Does a really fine job of grinding your peppers. Spring in there. All right. And the spring holds that apart so that when you're grinding, you got that all assembled. It will. Okay, now I can see what I got for a length. See it? Right now, the end of that rod is about flush with the end of this right here. So I've got plenty of length to work with when we, when I start farming my ball on the end here. Because you can always, the other thing you can do to adjust that, if we get this all farmed and we don't like the length we got on our rod, we can put this back in a lathe and drill this counter bore another eighth or 3/16, whatever it's going to take. So that's your final adjustment to get that rod right. Is you can come back. I always stay a little short, or I guess it's supposed to be 3/8. Yeah, I'm probably not 3/8 of an inch below this surface. So that gives us another place to get more length if you come up a little short. Because I don't think it would hurt if you were in there a half inch. It's not still going to grind your peppers the same. Follow what I'm saying there, Jeff? You ever have to do that? All right. Okay. Thank you. How are we doing on time? 3:00. Huh?
About 7 minutes.
Yeah, it takes more time to do that drilling than the person realizes. All right, got my line, got it lined back up with a grain. Snug this up. And we'll do a little quick turning of the outside. We want to, this is a simple shape. I generally mark where I want my high spots to be. That's high spot there. And of course, the high spot is there, thereabouts. Nothing exact about it. I know a guy really should be turning this with a spindle gouge and not a bowl gouge, but I've gotten in the habit of doing most of my turning with a uh, bowl gouge. You can go up here and start shaping your top the way you want it. Got my tool rest a little high, I think. Well, we've that spun. We try to get that lined up again. There we go. I don't think you want to let this too fat. I should fat may not be the right word to use. Uh, but if you let this, if this is too big, a young lady's small hands can't fit around it. So all right, then here we'll take this and taper it down. Stop me there.
Hey, is that your light?
Is that my light? Yes, it is.
First off. Appreciate you doing it.
All right. Hey, if Jeff is happy, I'm happy.
I have a question. I'm trying to track it down. Are you happy with how that light works, charges and whatnot?
Well, when I'm on my lathe, I use this pretty much all the time on my Laguna, and my Laguna is parallel to the wall, and there's an outlet right there. So I leave the charger on it pretty much all the time. Jeff Hornig sells these. I bought this over at the Collinsville show pre-COVID, so it's lasted I'd say I bought it. It could have been the spring of 20. But it's,
Cash it out as a prize, and nobody knows who got it. I just want to get some feedback on those. How you do it.
yeah, I've got some others, but my other ones aren't, battery. You know, I've got some that I plug in and, I got one from, Doza, for Cindy Droza, that's got magnets that you can put on for hollowing. If your tool rest is like here, it's undercut, so it doesn't really shine in. So it's hard to find the perfect light.
Hey, on the present challenge, the winner is Tom. Yeah.
All right.
It's a balloon in a-
Oh, the balloon is Halloween.
Yeah. Okay, very nice. Great selection. All right,
Okay. Now, wait a minute. Don't everybody run off. Whoever wants instructions, printed instructions in detail. I thought here's a stack of them. Take. It'll have everything in there that, it's very well prepared. I didn't put my name on it. It comes from, Nick Cook. And, I reprinted Nick Cook's and I, still got Nick Cook's name on it. So.
all right, thank you. Put up some chairs.